Hey friends, how you doing? Wanted to try to make this video real quick for you regarding how to use ChatGPT and Suno to generate songs, or what I like to call life tracks. So let's jump in here. All right. So this was a conversation I started a month or so ago, and usually when I end up generating a song in Suno, I didn't start a conversation with the idea of generating a song. It just sort of shows up somewhere in the conversation where I'm like intuitively like, oh, this might be a good song to make. So let me give you an example of how I use ChatGPT. I'm imagining work in any language model. We can talk about that another time. So I had started a conversation here saying, I'm trying to decide whether I should go see the new Billie Eilish movie, but I really don't know much about her. Why is she such a big deal? The trailer said she changed music. So ChatGPT gives a response. I don't usually really read everything. I kind of just skim it looking for interesting points because some of its responses are long and I'm not really looking to do a deep dive. I just want to kind of get a sense of whether I should go see this movie. I did end up going to see it, by the way. It was pretty good. Anyway, let's see. So the next part of the conversation, I think probably I went and saw the movie. Later on, I had another question. I just picked up the same thread. So sometimes in my conversations, I might span many different topics, and that can be really interesting to see how all of that ends up showing up in the lyrics. We'll see if we have an example of that with this one. I honestly couldn't tell you right now. So here I was saying people really talk down about AI music. I've been able to use AI music in an interesting way, which includes qualities of closer, stranger, emotionally exposed. Unlike Billie, who's making her music for an audience, I'm making music for myself, and as a result, I'm singing my own songs for the first time in my life instead of singing someone else's. I am comfortable in my own skin in a way I've not been before, and the byproduct of that is happy. And while it started as a tool to help me reset cognitively, there's many levels of greatness to this vehicle as a form of self-expression that is incredibly integrating, connective, joyful. There's tremendous positive biochemistry that's happening listening to the songs that I've generated out of long conversations about real-life questions, desires, visions. I want to do to the current AI music conversation what Billie Eilish did for music with her fans. And so it gave me a response, whatever the response said. Again, I'm not looking for answers. I'm just really using this tool almost as a dojo for me to dialogue with myself, to hear the types of things where my mind keeps returning to, the things that keep coming up for me, language that I'm using that may be actually limiting me. So yeah, it's just useful conversations to have with myself to slow myself down, slow my thinking down, share what's coming through, what's alive for me, and just bouncing back and forth between what it says, picking up something, creating stuff from the things that I'm talking about that's on my mind. So whatever it said here, and I promise we're not too far from the song piece of this, so hang with me just a minute. So I just said, I need a visual graphic that pulls this together in a way that makes it seem obvious. Yes, it will be partly for me to anchor myself with, but it will also help me communicate this to people. Do not reference Billie Eilish in any way, or the graphic will violate some term. So it was talking about AI music as self-expression. It was a really nice little graphic. All right, so then I said, I went to see the movie yesterday. Whatever else I said. See if there's anything important here. Yeah, at one point she's laying on the stage singing to the ceiling and everyone's like crying just from being in proximity with her. Now I get that our audience is teenage and young 20s, and that's a main issue, certainly. Just existential difficulty in being that age, and how having an artist say something that just speaks through you is incredibly powerful. And I said, and I'm also feeling like my age range, 50 plus, is also a good deal of that isolation and loneliness and struggle and angst that my songs are stunningly suited for. No, I'm not ever going to have a stadium show, and I can't carry a tune in a bucket, but I don't think my people would need all of that. There's got to be some version of something that I can do with these songs that will put something out into the world that my demographic could latch onto and just really find deep relief in. So it said whatever it said here. Again, it's not so much about what it's saying, it's just about me being able to have the conversation, and we are almost to the song. For me, it's not just listening to the song. It's not just this listening to the song for the listener. Until you feel comfortable in your own skin, and then you have a whole new slew of other songs to bring you along whatever comes next. I'm loving this idea that it would inspire people to want to generate their own songs. It already has. I've made some songs with 2 people now, and they love them. And then there's this other thing. If you love the song and it's really resonating with you, copy the lyrics and drop them into your language model and see if it opens up anything. I'm not saying that my songs have an answer. They're just like 3D glasses that are going to help you see something, or a handful of things that maybe your language model alone hasn't really surfaced for you yet. And so it gives you a bunch of springboards to go explore. So that's a next level topic. Don't worry too much about that. That's just me talking about me some more. And then finally, and then after, come back to a private public space where we can share our songs with each other, because that's hard to do. All right, so then finally I got to this point where I felt like I was ready to make a song. And this was the whole prompt. So you see, it's already got a lot of context. It's already kind of heard me talk about a few different issues that I care about, things that I'm curious about, and things that are important to me, things that I'm doing. And so now I can just add a prompt like this that says, if you could write a signal song and Suno instructions to me, I'm wanting it to generate a song to me from ChatGPT that would act like 3D glasses for me in the way that you estimate would be most useful at this point on my journey. What song would that be? And so it generated this. And so again, so I'm just saying generate Suno instructions, and usually I say instructions and lyrics. But anyway, so it will just come up with the style. You'll notice I didn't tell it what style to do. I just said, give me a style that would be suitable for the song that I need to hear, kind of thing, right? And so it made it up. I don't read this. I don't know what it says. I don't know if it's appropriate until I go and make my song and I hear it. So if you have a type of song that you really want to make, you can tell it, I'd love a rock version or a punk version, or make it sound like a musical theater. You can tell it those things. Suno doesn't really like you to say, make it sound like some artist, like some specific artist. It will usually say, I can't do that. So in ChatGPT, I can say, I really like this artist, Florence and the Machine, or, whatever. So generate style instructions that are like that, but don't mention the artist. So those are some ways that you can come up with some different song styles. And then it generated these lyrics for You Can Sit Here Too. And honestly, this is one of my many favorite life tracks that I've created, so I'll attach a copy of this song too so you can listen to it. And then I'm like, yeah, there's some deep, meaning-rich soil here. It's kind of blowing my mind. Anyway, I went on and you can see kind of over here, I'm down here around prompt 7, 8. This is a long conversation that just went on and continued on to other topics. I started generating a bunch of graphics and whatever else. We don't need to know about that today. So what I did then, once I had my song style and my lyrics, let's get to the fun part here. I came over to my Suno. Suno, when you first open it up, you're gonna see there is a simple interface. Yours might look a little different, especially if you're on your phone. It might look a little different. It's definitely going to look a little different. You'll only see this left portion of it. If you see my mouse up here, I'm kind of hovering over where it says simple. This is the simple user interface. I don't really use the simple interface for much of anything, only once in a while when I just want to be experimental. Basically, the simple interface, you would just come down into this box and say, type a sentence, please generate a song about idealizing somebody, right? And then you say go, and it generates the lyrics, the style, the title, all of the things. I like a little more control, so instead of the simple interface, I click over to advanced. And basically then I would go over here. You're going to see there's a box here for lyrics. There's a box for your song style. And then there's the title down here. If you're on your desktop, if you're on your laptop, your desktop, you're going to have some more options here. Whether you want male, female, whatever, if you want weirdness, style, influence. But if you're just on your phone, you're not going to have those extra more options. I don't always use the more options. I create a lot of songs on my phone. It's not super important. What's important are the lyrics, the style, and you can leave the song name blank if you want to, and it will create a name for you. So then you would just come over to here, you would copy the lyrics, copy the style, come down into your style box and paste that in there, come back over to here, copy your lyrics, come back over into Suno, up into the lyrics box and paste in your lyrics. Again, I would put my title down here. If you don't, you can sit here too. And then you're just going to click create. And it takes 4 or 5 minutes for it to generate. It's going to generate 2 versions of the same song. And then you kind of listen to each one and decide if you like either one of them. I like to delete the one that I don't like, just to keep my stream clean of the ones that I do like. Occasionally I keep both of them if they're distinct and I just want to have another version of it. But really that's it. There's obviously more things that I would love to say, but I don't want to overwhelm you. I feel like this has already been a long enough video and a good place to get you started. There's a lot more that you can do with it, but when I started 6 months ago, let's say, really in earnest, that's all I was doing. Lyrics, styles, title, go. And I'm up to probably 125 songs now, and it has been life-changing in so many ways. So anyway, I'm gonna stop sharing. See how long that was. I don't know how long that was. Hopefully it wasn't too long. You can watch it on double speed if you want to. And hope that was helpful. Be sure to ask any questions, and that's what we're going to be talking about probably more this Friday at Cafe Disco, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's just going to be a casual meetup, and so if you want to join and you have questions about this, come along. It's a free Zoom session that I'm doing for the last month, and it's coming along well, and I'd love to have you guys join in sometime whenever you're free or available. Thanks, and I will see you next time.